The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't.
Welcome back to the Kyle McCullers Show. I am your host, Kyle McCullers, and today we're going to do a little bit different show, actually. I wanted to try something a little bit different, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go actually down the rabbit hole of Twitter, and I did a little bit, and I wanted to see kind of what was trending and what was going on, and I wanted to kind of just do kind of like a review of all the clips that I've seen in the last couple of days. Kind of go viral, and I wanted to talk about them in kind of rapid fire succession. I don't have a very in-depth subjects because I feel like right now the news is coming so quickly, so fast, and one story happens and another one happens, and everything's kind of developing, and it's becoming so fast that I want to start streaming more, I think. But I wanted to test this out to see if this is something that people actually would like to do, or even if I wanted to do. So today's going to be a little bit different. I don't have really any motivation for you guys today because my thoughts haven't really been motivating. I've been kind of in a place where I'm having to go through the lack of motivation and break through the wall of monotony and just hang on for dear life for discipline and just keep going, keep doing it. Tell myself that. This is the grind. This is how it's supposed to be. It's hard. Just keep going. So if anybody feels like that, where you don't feel motivated at all, which I do not, so I'm not going to give motivation. I'm not going to give you something I don't possess right now. What I can tell you, though, is when motivation fails, when motivation is zero, just hang on to discipline. Just do the thing you're supposed to do and just keep doing it. And don't let the feeling of lack of motivation or the feeling of I don't feel like it control you. That's my only advice for you. So we're gonna do some clips. We're gonna do some rapid fire, and maybe I'll have some thoughts at the end. But I think this is gonna be fun. So grab your coffee, strap in, and let's get cracking. Okay, so first up, I heard about this clip and saw this clip of Donald Trump wrecking the governor of Maine. Listen to this.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good, I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
Janet Mills. So this woman is telling Donald Trump, the president of the United States, that she'll see him in court. Which was funny because she also said, I'm going to comply with state and federal law. And Trump says, I am the federal law. We are. The Republican Party controls the House, the Senate, and the presidency. We are dictating the federal law. So, and can he do this? Can he withhold funding from states that don't comply? The courts are going to decide, but I'm almost certain that that's possible. And this is just another example of a Democratic official who hates Donald Trump, who doesn't want to do anything to help him, even though it's against the will of the American people. And he had a great point, and it's true. You can look it up. in every single county, well, I'm sorry, hold on. Out of all of the counties in the United States, only 500 of them leaned to the left. Okay? The rest of them, I think it's over 2,600 counties. I think we have 2,600 counties, so 500, so it'd be 2,200 counties, voted to the right for Donald Trump. So when they start using the words like President Trump has a mandate from the people, it's true. The most black people in recorded history voted for Republican is Donald J. Trump. He won every swing state. He won the popular vote. Over 80%, over 90% of the counties in America voted for Donald Trump. There is by no means any way that you can review the election results of November 5th of 2024 as anything being other than a mandate from the people. And right now, President Trump is more popular than he's ever been in his entire life. So if people don't get on board, like he said, they're going to be voted out of office, because it's not just it's no longer orange man bad anymore. The people are over it. The people are overwhelmingly behind Donald Trump. And so if you're going to go against Donald Trump, you're going against the will of the people, and that's not going to end well for you. But it's the greatest own clip, and this clip's going to live forever. This clip is just as good, if not better, than the clip where Donald Trump owns Hillary Clinton in the debate, where she says something like, we can't let this man basically be in office, and he was like, because you'd be in jail, right? And so this is going to live forever. Okay. Love Benny Johnson. Benny says, want to see a murder? No, I don't. He's being tongue-in-cheek. But it says, libs in the White House press corps scream at Trump's Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, that Elon Musk is unelected. Before I play this clip, let me come back to me. Before I play this clip, I want everyone to understand this, and I'll link the video too that I have for this, but Elon Musk is not elected, and he doesn't need to be. He is an appointed official, and the president under Article 2 can do this. And Biden did it. I mean, presidents can do this. This is 100% legal. Doge is 100% legal. It's 100% within the Constitution, and the president has the power to do that. Elon Musk reports to Donald Trump. He doesn't have any power. He can't do anything other than what the president tells him to do. He's not autonomous. He's under the president, and that's how it is, and that's how it will remain. Also, Doge is a temporary thing. They're not instituted forever, and the president can't do that. But the fact of the matter is that everything that Elon Musk is doing is under the direction and the eye of the president, and he's able to do that. All right. So when people are shouting, "Oh, he's unelected," who cares? He's not passing any laws. He's not doing anything in the government other than what the president has told him to do, which the American people voted for. And that's what the Democrats keep missing. And God bless them. I want them to keep doing it, because that's how they're never going to get in office. They're never going to get in office until they wake up out of the TDS and realize that Trump has the people now. They don't. But let's get back to this clip.
It is true that many of the people in this room for 4 years failed to cover the fact that Joe Biden was mentally incompetent and was not running the country. It is also true that many people in this room who have used this talking point that Elon is not elected fail to understand how government works. So I'm glad for the opportunity for a brief civics lesson. A president is elected by the whole American people. He's the only official in the entire government that is elected by the entire nation, right? Judges are appointed, members of Congress are elected at the district or state level, which is one man. And the Constitution, Article 2, has a clause known as the vesting clause, and it says the executive power shall be vested in a president, singular. The whole will of democracy is imbued into the elected president. That president then appoints staff to then impose that democratic will onto the government. The threat to democracy, indeed the existential threat to democracy, is the unelected bureaucracy of lifetime tenured civil servants who believe they answer to no one, who believe they can do whatever they want without consequence, who believe they can set their own agenda no matter what Americans vote for. So Americans vote for radical FBI reform, and FBI agents say they don't want to change. Or Americans vote for radical reform on our energy policies, but EPA bureaucrats say they don't want to change. Or Americans vote to end DEI, racist DEI policies, and lawyers at the Department of Justice say they don't want to change.
I gotta just hop in here. He's 100% correct. The difference between Elon Musk and a bureaucrat is that a bureaucrat is actively working within the government as their job, and they have powers to do or not do what the elected body has been elected to do, right? They are the people working in the government that have their hands on the controls. And if they don't comply, things don't get done. Or they could sabotage or just be lazy or just not do anything. And the bureaucracy, the bureaucrats, the people that are actually working the jobs that are partisan, right, are actively thwarting or actively working against the White House. And that's what happened in Trump's first term. It's amazing. And I think this is the power of Donald Trump. And I think that the reason why people are astounded by it is because, well, for two reasons. Because I think, number one, it compounded, meaning that his understanding and his plans compounded, his effect compounded over the 4 years that he wasn't in the White House, because he learned from massive amount of mistakes that he made with trust, right? With not understanding how the swamp operates. But the main thing is that when he got elected the first time, he could have probably done more because he was younger and probably had more vitality, in my opinion. But he could have done more in his first term if he had this kind of understanding of how the swamp works, because it was the bureaucrats in the first term that thwarted, that slowed down the momentum, that stopped him at every turn, and he didn't have the mechanisms and the understanding and the playbook in order to dismantle it. Fast forward now, that's no longer the fact. He now can perform exactly how he would perform in the private sector, in the government, and he's able to dismantle all of this stuff because the people he now has around him not only are singular on his vision, I also believe, I truly believe this. The reason why he is able to do so much so now, especially with the Republicans, because remember, the Republican Party has always been kind of fractured, right? There's been kind of these little tribes within the Republican Party, and they have never really been able to, besides Reagan, I would say, since Reagan, they really haven't been able to rally behind one person, right? And for the first time in a long time, the American people have overwhelmingly voted for a Republican candidate, and all the Republicans understand that. They understand that the power is with Trump. The people are with Trump. And if they don't get on board with Trump, they're going to lose their job. They're going to lose their position. They will be voted out. So everyone is now behind Donald Trump. And so now Donald is able to perform, President Trump is able to perform at his best as a CEO when he is able to put people in place to handle things that he needs handled, and he's able to overall manage the strategy. And so these bureaucrats that they are taking out of the government, he's tearing down the unelected power structure. And that is the big difference between Elon and these bureaucrats, and it's glorious.
What President Trump is doing is he is removing federal bureaucrats who are defying democracy by failing to implement his lawful orders, which are the will of the whole American people. It is true that many of the people in this room...
I should have just let him finish, but like he said, perfect example. So, Kash Patel was appointed as the new FBI director, head of the FBI, which is, I don't really know too much about Kash. I know I've seen him and heard about him. He was on the Sean Ryan show. I didn't even watch that one. I watched some clips on it. And I haven't done a lot of research on Kash, and I need to. A lot of people on the right seemed to want this appointment since the beginning, and I think he said a lot of controversial things. The one thing that I saw here from Charlie Kirk that Elon Musk retweeted is a juxtaposition between Adam Schiff and Kash Patel. And I personally think Adam Schiff is one of the worst. He's one of the worst people. I'll say that. He's one of the worst people because he is a liar and he lies about everything. And he's just, and I think Trump calls him Shifty Shift, which I think is hilarious. But I wanted to show this clip because this is the reason why Kash is fits the mold with the Trump administration, because he's another bulldog. I would say he's like a Tom Holman. What Tom Holman is to ICE, Kash Patel is to the FBI and law enforcement. And I think that is what's going to be really, really awesome, because we are not, this administration is the most American, and what I mean by American, the most citizen-focused administration I have ever heard of or seen. Meaning that this is such a domestic-focused administration for the people, on the benefits and the benefits, and doing everything that it can to improve the lives of its citizens that I have ever seen in my life. And that is saying something. And it's not just about a politician who says a bunch of things and doesn't mean them, because they don't care about people. They only care about themselves and their friends. I think that's the huge thing. And I think that is the connection between Americans and Donald Trump. I really believe for the first time, and I was saying this to my wife, we live in a crazy world now where Americans believe a politician. They believe not only Donald Trump says what he means, it means what he says. They believe in him. And I've never truly seen this in my lifetime, because Reagan was in office when I was a kid, right? I didn't understand that. So plus Trump has done and is doing things that have never been done before, right? And so I think it's really important to kind of get a grasp on exactly who all these appointments are and everything, but I thought this clip was very valuable.
This is someone we cannot trust. This is someone who lacks the character to do this job, someone who lacks the integrity to do this job. We know that. Our Republican colleagues know that. The only qualification Kash Patel has to be FBI director is that when everyone else in the first Trump administration said, no, I won't do that, that crosses moral, ethical, and legal lines, Kash Patel said, sign me up. In the first Trump administration, as we are seeing in the second, you rise to the level of your sycophancy, and no one is a bigger or more dangerous sycophant than Kash Patel. This political hack does not deserve to be in this building. He can't do the job. He won't protect the public. He will misuse the resources of the Bureau. He will weaponize it against the president's political opponents rather than protecting the safety, the public safety.
So, every time I hear these Democrats say, Trump is going to weaponize the government or weaponize law enforcement against his political opponents, it rings hollow. And it rings hollow to all Americans. For literally 8 years, we saw the Democratic Party, from Hillary Clinton spying on Trump's campaign, caught, Hillary Clinton and the Hillary Clinton campaign paying for and manufacturing and distributing false and misinformation and disinformation, which was the Steele dossier, trying to connect Donald Trump to Putin in a compromised way, all the way to all the lawfare and the lawsuits. The reason why it rings hollow is because we know the game. We've seen the game. It's just Marxism, right? And Marxism is known for labeling their opponents and labeling their opponents' actions hypocritically, meaning that they tell the public what their opponents are doing when they're actually the ones doing it. So when Schiff says, he's not gonna protect Americans, he's just gonna come after his political opponents, it rings hollow because that's what you guys have been doing. That's what you guys have been doing. That's what you guys do. And so if you get a taste of your own medicine, it's called justice. It's called retribution. That's what it's called. You're going to get the dose of what you gave out, right? Everything comes back. So if you're always lying and you're cheating and you're scheming and you're trying to do underhanded things, and then that gets exposed, oh yeah, you're going to jail. And that's what he's afraid of.
The American people.
Adam Schiff is the worst criminal in Congress in the last 250 years. And what broke that we're going to talk about right now is Adam Schiff met with a whistleblower. Adam Schiff went to the podium day after day after day saying, I know nothing about this. We're not going to discuss it. We're going to protect it. And then Adam Schiff, led the prosecution of the impeachment trial in the Senate of President Donald Trump. Talk about someone who was conflicted out of the game because he was part of the hoax that brought Charmella in, manufactured that false accusation, and then peddled it out to the world, and he continued, not surprising, he's lied about almost everything in his life. But now he lied just to set up a presidential impeachment. And that's what I was talking about, these disinformation campaigns. And then he should be investigated because he lied to the world about his interactions with Charmella, who is a whistleblower, and I can't stress this enough, that started a presidential impeachment. Now, your history is way better than mine, but I can't remember the last time a president was actually impeached. It's a significant process and escalation, and it's reserved for the time when it actually shows a crime, not when it shows the manufacture of fake information to show a fake crime. The guy that found and manufactured the evidence with Charmella was the prosecutor in the case against the target of the investigation. That is the ultimate, from a prosecutorial standpoint, conflict of interest. But he knew what he was doing, and he thought he would never get exposed. And I think thanks to, I think it was John Solomon and his fantastic reporting, we now see what I've been saying for years, that I thought he met with him for sure, and it will come out, and it now has.
Yeah, that's incredible. And also, the conflict of interest is huge. The reason why this is so on many levels poetic justice is that, remember, when they stole that election, and they did steal that election, when they padded the numbers in 2020 and they got Biden elected, they truly believed Trump had zero chance, would never have office again, okay? So their arrogance after the 2020 election knew no bounds, okay? So they did everything they could during his presidency, his first term, to dismantle him and destroy him. And even though he fought like a dog and did an amazing job in his first term, his second, they took that election. We know what they did, right? And when they did, they thought that there's no way. They did everything that their little minds could think of, because they're little-minded people. They have no innovation. They have no creativity. They have never had to create or really do a job in their entire life. They literally make deals behind closed doors to steal money from the American people and give it to their friends. That's what they've done their whole life. So they don't know how to work, right? That's why Donald Trump is running circles around them, because they've never done it in their life. They don't know how, okay? So now their arrogance knew no bounds. They never believed, in their mind, it was never conceivable that Donald Trump would ever be the president again. So they thought that they could do whatever they want. And because of that, the amount of sins that they've stacked up, the amount of darkness that they've done, that they thought no one was ever going to see, the light is coming. It's starting to get shined, right? We're starting to see it. And that's what's making them terrified. They tried to kill him. They really did. And they weren't able to do it. And, so now there's only one other thing they can do, and that's run. That's run and hide. That's the only thing they can do. And I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing people do just that. All right, this is a small clip, but this is huge. It says, just in, Colin Rugg, California Governor Gavin Newsom requests $40 billion from the federal government. $40 billion from the federal government, okay, from Trump for the Los Angeles fire recovery efforts. That money he has to have. He has to have it. There is no way he cannot have it. What does that mean? It means that Trump has all the leverage on the negotiations. Gavin Newsom's going to do whatever Donald Trump says because he's in an existential crisis where he has to have the money, and he can go around the news centers and say Donald Trump won't give me the money unless I do this, unless I do something, but it doesn't matter because his people are going to tell him take the deal, take the deal, take the deal. So he's going to have to take it. But it says California is strapped for cash because they have spent billions of dollars on illegal immigrants. The state of California is now paying $9.5 billion a year just for health care on illegal migrants. They're spending $10 billion a year on illegal migrant health care. Not U.S. citizens, undocumented, illegal migrants. He needs $40 billion, which means if they didn't spend $1 on an illegal migrant, an illegal person who's here illegally, who should not be here, they would have saved $40 billion. And guess what? He wouldn't need $40 billion from the rest of the United States to pay for his mistakes because he wants to squander his money on people that are not his citizens. Check this out. This is the informational hearing overview of the governor's January 10th budget proposal.
Enriquez with the California Department of Finance. So in the current year to cover undocumented individuals in Medi-Cal, we're spending $9.5 billion total funds.
So it's not the $6 billion that people.
Did you catch what you said? They call them undocumented individuals, not illegal migrants. That's what they are. They're illegal. They're illegal. They're not undocumented individuals. They're illegal migrants.
Continue to talk about in the media. It's $9.5 billion.
Was a Budget Act number. This is a revised number. Was $1 total funds.
So it's not the $6 billion that people continue to talk about in the media. It's $9.5 billion.
Was a Budget Act number. This is a revised number based on the governor's budget updated estimates. So of the $9.5 billion, $8.4 billion is general fund.
Again, what she means is, oh, we used an old number because it sounded better, but this is the real number. So just so you know, this is the real number. We just used the smaller number because we don't want it to sound as bad. The point is, Gavin Newsom is a joke. He needs to be taken out of office. And that sheriff, I don't know, I think there's a sheriff in California now. I love him. He's a great guy. He actually was part of the protection detail when Trump came to California. I don't know if it's Sheriff Judd. Maybe that's right or wrong, but you know, Californians, you need to vote for him so you can get this guy out of office because he clearly doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't care about you guys. This is just a good clip. I forget exactly why I have it here, but I have it here because it's a good one. So let's listen to it. It's clip 4 or 5. I don't remember.
Some members of Congress in red districts are facing pushback from voters in town halls. We know that Americans voted for you on the immigration and the economy, but these voters say they're angry and frustrated by these firings. They don't like the work of Elon Musk and these other actions. What do you say to them?
Who do you work for?
I work for ABC News, sir.
Who?
ABC News.
No wonder. Let me just tell you that I have today the highest poll numbers I've ever had. I have today the highest poll numbers of any Republican president ever. We haven't even checked the Democrats, but that's what I was just told. And they like the job that we're doing. They like the job that Elon's doing. He's doing something that a lot of people wouldn't have the courage to do. We want to streamline our country. We want to streamline, because you know why? Because we want our country to survive and thrive. And we're finding billions and billions of dollars of waste, fraud, and abuse. Billions, and I mean numbers like you wouldn't believe. And we haven't even started yet. So it's actually just the opposite. We've polled it, and people are thrilled. They can't even believe it's happening. And it won't affect many people. It only affect the people that get caught stealing. The waste, fraud, and abuse is at a level like nobody's ever seen. It's been going on for years. And all you have to do is look at the Social Security rolls, look at some of the things, look at where the money is going. The Attorney General's looking into something, environmental protection, $20 billion. And it's out and out fraud. So I think the people are very happy.
He's 100% right. People are very happy, Mr. President. Keep it up. I heard about the EPA $20 billion scam. I'm looking into that. Not sure if that's where that money went, but I'll be looking into that. I'm very interested to see what that's about. Oh my gosh. Guys, I saw this clip and I was like, nope, I have got to talk about this. So I saw this person here, and this is a man right here. This is a man. His name is Blossom. He is a transgender man who thinks that he's a woman. And I saw him the other day, and I'll probably do a separate video on it, but it was Michael Knowles on is it Jubilee? Was on versus 25 LGBTQ activists. And he, her, him, it was on as one of the people. And this person, he, she, whatever, he has no arguments. He is clearly, obviously, he thinks he's a woman. He's clearly mentally incapacitated. And he says some outrageous thing in this clip. Riley Gaines, beautiful, smart, woman advocate. Remember, I think she was a swimmer, yeah. And I think the whole controversy with the transgender guy, trying to pretend he was a woman, was in the locker room. I believe he renamed himself Leah Thomas. But Riley Gaines here, they're talking about the Olympics. And we know Pierce. Pierce is a huge anti-woke guy. He's a liberal, but he hates the wokeness. But this was a great clip, and I thought that this would bring us some, I want to talk about this.
Absurd from top to bottom, saying there should be a gender-neutral Olympics?
I know.
Are you serious?
Madness.
Do you also believe, Blossom, that we should combine the Paralympics and the Olympics? I would love to hear an answer to that.
Okay, I'll ask her. Bring back Blossom. Blossom, should we combine the Paralympics with the regular Olympics? Have them all compete with each other?
I mean, why not? And to go back to Riley's point to
why
that
not?
last
Yeah,
point.
okay. You are completely insane.
Go back to that last point.
Paralympics. Let's look this up. The Paralympics are a series of international multi-sport events for athletes with disabilities. They are similar to the Olympic Games, with winter and summer games held every 2 years. Oh, that is so funny. That is so funny. That's what we get. That's what we get, America, for entertaining insanity. Because Blossom, this man is insane. He's insane. He thinks that he's a woman, and he thinks that we should have gender neutral, whatever that means. It means nothing, because there's no such thing. Olympics. So he believes that men and women together should compete in one Olympic, and he believes that we should combine the regular Olympics with the Olympics with disability. So he doesn't see any difference in anything, and this is the epitome and definition of liberal equity. When they say equity, that's what they mean here, right? There's just no difference. And matter of fact, we're going to make it so there's no difference. So we're going to lower and raise according to our arbitrary desire. We want to be God. We want to play God. That's really what it comes down to, right? And so this person, Blossom, insane. And I'm happy to have this clip to show just how ridiculous these people are. Utterly ridiculous. Liz Wheeler, love Liz Wheeler. Elon Musk retweeted her. This is just a PSA. She says, never forget, right? Or the NCB says, never forget. Liz Wheeler says, your grandma died alone in the hospital. Your husband was fired over a mandate. Your teenage son has heart problems because of the vaccine. You lost your business. You weren't allowed to go to church. Your 2-year-old was forced to wear a mask. But you want to forget the whole thing? No, I will never forget. And she's not saying you, the people. She's saying the Democrat, the people who were in power, the Biden administration, the liberal establishment, the leftists, the crazy leftists that still wear masks today. And we won't forget, right? And Elon says never forget, and we won't. Before I end it, I gotta do one for my boy Scott Jennings, because Scott Jennings is the boss, and we got to get a clip of him in here. So we're gonna go him. He's talking about how the president gets to appoint who he wants because he's the president. He's the CEO. He gets to determine who's on his team.
So I'm looking forward to hearing my conservative friends speak out.
Scott, our conservative friend, speak out.
Yeah, I'll give you a good reason, because this person serves at the pleasure of the president. This is the principal military advisor to the president. And I don't, necessarily think he had to have done anything wrong or had to have had a scandal or have any kind of mark against him at all. It's just that the president wants to have the most confidence in his principal military advisor. Obviously, he wants to pick somebody else. And there shouldn't be anything wrong with that, because under our Constitution, we have a civilian-led military, and the president is the commander-in-chief, and he should have the principal military advisor that he wants. I don't think there's anything wrong at all with General Brown. I think he has served this country honorably. I think he's a good man. And you might remember back in the first Trump term, he was promoted and nominated to be the head of the Air Force by Donald Trump. So obviously Trump has liked him in the past and thinks he's had an amazing career, and he even put out a positive statement about him tonight. But at the end of the day, this is a position that serves at the pleasure of the president. The president's Donald Trump, and he deserves to have the top advisors that he wants and that he has the most confidence in.
First off, who told this woman she can wear this denim shirt? Who told you this was okay? Who said this? This ain't okay, right? Number two, Scott is absolutely 100% right. He is the commander-in-chief. Everyone serves at his pleasure. If he doesn't want, or he doesn't want someone in a position, they're not in the position. End of story. All right? You're reading too much into it. Doesn't matter. He gets to pick. And I think that what I love about Scott is that the common sense is so good. It's so reasonable. He makes his argument so reasonable. It's like you sound like an idiot for saying or going against it, you know. And I think that's why Van Jones didn't say anything. This guy, I don't know who this guy is over here, but he was nodding along. But you could tell her face. Her face was just like her face was stone cold. And Scott makes it very difficult to argue because he's so rational and he's so it makes so much sense. It's like you'd sound dumb trying to say, oh no, that's not right. So shout out to my boy Scott. And I had a couple more things I wanted to go through today, but the last thing I want to go through or just comment on is that the mayor, Karen Bass, 15 hours ago, she fired the LGBTQ fire chief of Los Angeles, the one that was outspoken saying that her department budget was cut, I think, $17 million. Her trucks were in disrepair because there was no budget to fix them. They didn't want to pay the mechanics to get the personnel for the mechanics to fix them, and she basically was throwing Karen under the bus. And I don't want to say under the bus really, but just calling it out, saying, listen, we knew this was going to happen. We couldn't prevent it. We couldn't fight it. We didn't have the resources. We kept telling her we needed the resources, and she said no, right? And so there's a lot of conspiracy theories going around that Karen Bass knew, the mayor knew that this was going to happen, and she got out of Dodge, and there's a phone call, and I'm not going to go through that because I haven't investigated it enough, but it's from James O'Keefe, OMG, and he has a recorded call, and you guys can look it up, but I haven't done enough research into it to want to put it on the channel, but I think that there is some weird stuff there. I don't know if I don't personally understand why someone would want to burn their city to the ground or why that would happen. How you can't control fire, so I think that's a conspiracy theory. I think she's just incompetent, and I think that rather than take it on the chin, she fired the chief because she wants to put blame on the chief because she's trying to take it away from her. But I think Karen Bass has to go. I think this lady has to go. Don't get it twisted. She wanted to do the DEI. She wanted to put women in the fire department. She wanted to put gay women in the fire department. And at the end of the day, these kinds of jobs, you need men. Like let's just cut the BS, cut the bullshit. You need men. You need men to be the brunt of the force. They have the strength required. You can't lower the standards to let the women in to do the job and then be upset that the job doesn't get done as best as you thought it could be. It's just we got to stop arguing. We have to stop acting as if reality doesn't matter. And so I'm not saying like she shouldn't have gone. I think that she should have. But at the end of the day, I think they both have to go. So that's just my take. Well, thank you for coming down the Twitter rabbit hole with me. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. You got some news for the week, for the day. If you like this format, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing kind of maybe more of this stuff, and maybe I'll do shorter versions of this. I went and did 10, 20 clips, and maybe I'll cut these up and I'll put them out throughout the week. But I don't know, guys, how I'm going to do it. But I appreciate you guys rocking with me, walking with me, bearing with me as I kind of figure out how I want to distribute this information. But I have a passion for commentary, for politics, for wanting to get my voice out there and heard. And I think that there's a big dialogue happening in this country right now. And so I'm really excited also, too. I have a book coming, Forgiving America, a treatise of redemption. I'm looking for an agent right now. And if I can't find an agent, I will self-publish it, and I'll put it out, and I'll sell it myself. So I'm going to keep that up. And so I just appreciate you guys being with me, rock with me, keep going, stay strong. God bless you, America. Take care. Have a great, great week.